We can start, is it?
Yes, please start.
Good evening, friends. I'm President of Madras Kirana Merchant Association. I welcome one and all, wherein we have our guest, Dr. Raju, CA, who is an expert in MSME and who is going to speak up to us about Aatmanirbhar Abhiyan and give details about MSME. He has a vast experience as a CA, and he has given several speeches and he has taken classes for many technical people. He is here with us. If you see his resume, it goes on pages. If I start reading his resume, it will go. I think I'll take more than 45 minutes in his speeches. He is one of an eminent speaker. I heard one of you of members also were talking about him. He's an excellent speaker. Let's gain experience from him and learn how to utilize Aatmanirbhar scheme, which is announced by government. And if you have any doubts, you can text him at the same time, Mr. Dr. Raju, who's a chartered accountant, who will answer to us everything. Sir, thank you so much for coming in. We welcome you all, and it's all yours, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Very good evening, Dr. Vinod. Mr. Vinod, the President of Madras Kirana Merchant Association and Vice President of Federation of Manufacturers and Merchants, Madras Manufacturers and Merchants Association. I understand that this federation, under this federation, more than 40 associations are part of this federation. I am glad and happy to be part of today's program to share my thoughts on the latest stimulus package announced by central government. Our beloved and respected Pradhan Mantri ji, he has announced it a week back, and I'll be here. I'm here only to share my thoughts on this particular scheme. Let me now screen share. Yeah, I'll screen share it. Yes. Once again, very good evening and welcome to this special program on Aatmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan economic package announced by our Honorable Prime Minister of India. Today, I'll be focusing on one particular sector. This particular package has focused on almost all the sectors and segments of our country, being a very special package because of the most pandemic environment. This package, maybe we wouldn't have seen this in the past, and it may not even in future also such package will be possible because of the very unique and the most threatening pandemic environment by focusing on these 5 pillars. And one of the very important pillar is the quantum jump in respect to economy. And that is possible only by giving a stimulus to micro, small and medium enterprises. On 13th of May, 2020, there was a announcement, exactly a day back, there was an announcement by Pradhan Mantri ji and our Honorable Finance Minister, Madam Sitaraman ji, from 13th of May, every day there was a 2 hour of press meet, and she deliberated and in detail explained to the press what is the package all about, and especially the day one, the part 1 package was focusing on business, including micro, small and medium enterprises. And I may not deal in the generic part of it. I'll only be dealing my discussion today with respect to specific part on MSME. Now, we'll have 40 minutes of discussion and understanding. And then the last 10 minutes to 15 minutes, we'll focus on the question and answers. And in the meantime, if you feel you need to actually put some questions, you are welcome to use the chat box and type your questions there itself, so that one by one I will take those questions. I have 3 requests to all the participants here. Number one, kindly subscribe to this channel. There is no charges, just there is a button down below. Click that. Thereby, any program in future, you will automatically be intimated. Second, whatever queries you have, kindly use the chat box. I repeat, kindly use the chat box. And third most important thing, whenever you use the chat box, please put your name and location, and maybe if possible your industry, so that I can be very specific and focused to answer. My focused answer will be to that particular industry. So please remember this. Number one, please put your button, the subscribe button. Never forget it, and there is no cost for it. It's only your acceptance and your acknowledgement of these programs. Number two, please use chat box to type your questions. Number three, never forget to put your name and location. Good. So with this 3, I'm taking you to the most first important changes with respect to MSME. That is the definition part. They have actually totally changed the what do you call it as the aspect which will actually define MSME. They have expanded the scope. The scope has now been expanded. Thereby, more number of MSMEs can be benefited out of it. So this is one important point. And revised definition as per the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Act has to be actually been announced. So this announcement may come any point of time. So this is the first point all of us we need to understand. And I want to make one point very clear, guys. This Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises scheme was originally announced through this site, msme.gov.in. This is the central government site. Apart from this site, you have every state government has a state government site is also there. The Tamil Nadu MSME, TN MSME, Kerala MSME, Karnataka MSME, Maharashtra MSME. Every government, they have their own MSME site. This point we need to understand. And this particular schemes which has been announced in the past is still now there. Many people they ask actually, they have announced a scheme on 13.5. Am I eligible for it? Now this particular scheme announced Aatmanirbhar Bharat. Aatmanirbhar Bharat means self-reliant India, meaning exclusively relying only on the resources and the capacity of the micro, small and medium enterprises and businesses, and enabling them and giving them the takat and giving them the hope so that they come up. And the very big asset for all the MSMEs is their experience. Their experience is a very big asset. So keeping that in mind only, this stimulus package has been announced. Now, there may be many people who may not fit to this stimulus package preconditions. There are some preconditions which they may not fit. For example, they say with respect to this 3 lakh crore collateral free automatic credit, which they call it as emergency credit for MSME, they make one condition. Look at that green color. That there should be an entire outstanding credit as on 29/2/2020. So this is for an existing borrowers. I repeat, this is for existing borrowers, not for the present would-be borrowers. Now, there are many they actually come across now, okay, I am also an MSME. I also have a Udyog Aadhar card with me, Udyog Aadhar certificate with me. Am I eligible? Am I eligible for this 3 lakh crore? Now, for them, I want to make one point very clear. There are MSME schemes which are already been announced. This document, I'll just share with you. Look at this. This is the document. This document is actually, it's a very big document, 266-page document. This runs. And you will be surprised, 52 ministries are there. Almost every ministry women and child development, urban development, tribal welfare, tourism schemes, social justice, textile, science and technology, rural developments, then housing, food processing, finance, culture schemes. So every ministry have announced respective MSME schemes. These MSME schemes are already there. So those schemes are still now valid. People can go and knock the doors of the respective ministries and avail. Apart from this, MSME ministry itself, Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, for SME division schemes through the DC MSME schemes, Development Commissioner DC MSME schemes, so many schemes are there. Please look at this. NSIC schemes, ARI division scheme, already so many schemes are already there. It is for existing new MSME entrepreneurs. And discussing about scheme itself will take minimum 2 hours. And I request the Madras Kirana Merchant Association president and the entire team to actually dwell upon this and share the thoughts to all the members so that they are much benefited. So this is one part. Second part. Part 2 is what we have got today. What we have got today is Aatmanirbhar Bharat. Aatmanirbhar Bharat, I will call it as maybe a stimulus package, not an ordinary package. And this stimulus package, you must understand, cannot be compared with the generic MSME schemes, which is given in this 266-page document. Okay. Now, let me first start with three stimulus package has been given. 1, 2, 3. Maybe you can remember that as a chair with 3 leg. Okay, the 3 leg MSME schemes have been announced, stimulus schemes. So that means they are a running organization and they have been locked down. They have been pulled, and they have been actually now finding difficult to actually gaining that momentum. So therefore, there is this stimulus package is applicable for them. Let me first start with the first stimulus package. This stimulus package will take 10 to 15 minutes for me to explain. This is a 3 lakh crore collateral-free automatic loan. The moment this term has been heard, okay, let me also go and go to my banker and ask, say they say collateral-free, then open a bank account and credit to my account that limit, I'll use it. There are conditions. Please look at this. There are conditions that will prevail. As of today, Reserve Bank of India has to come out with a direction to the respective bankers how this has to be implemented. Second, banks have to come out with the schemes. They have to come out with the schemes with respect to implementation of the emergency credit. What is the documentation required, forms, and what are all the certification that is required? Because point 1, 2, 3, please remember, guys, these 3 documents will be necessary. Number 1, they say 29 to 2020, there should be outstanding credit. Meaning, they say this particular 3 lakh crore collateral-free automatic loans, it will be 100% credit guarantee. Please look at this. Credit guarantee trust will be guaranteeing 100% to the financial institutions, banks and NBFCs who is being giving this credit to the respective borrowers. Why? Because these are all good standing standard borrowers. I repeat, not substandard or NPA borrowers. Standard borrowers. They have been running companies. Because of the lockdown, they are now forced to actually sit. So their momentum, speed is actually been stopped. So now they have to gain the momentum. When they have to gain the momentum, they need some fuel. Maybe that is only temporary, but that is required. So that is why they made this, that not large organizations, but micro, small and medium enterprise. That's why they say the borrowing amount cannot be more than 25 crore outstanding. This is the first condition. And if you look at the definition part, please look at the definition part, which you'll be quite surprised. Previously, for manufacturing sector and service sector, the investment was the criteria. Now, for manufacturing and services, investment and turnover, both are the criteria. Previously, investment was the only criteria. Now, investment and turnover, both are the criteria. Only investment, borrow and don't do any activity. That happened in the previous part. Now it is not so. Borrow And I mean, investor, you have to borrow and you have to show turnover. Then only you are an MSME. Maybe if your turnover is more, you may not be micro, you'll go to small. You may not be small, you will go to medium. You may not be medium, you will go to maybe a large company, maybe large enterprises. So that is why they made this. 5 times of the investment is the turnover. Less than 1 crore or up to 1 crore is micro, into 5 is 5 crore is turnover. Both conditions has to be satisfied. If I either cross investments or turnover, I am not micro, I'll go to the second category. My investment should be up to 10 crore and into 5 times is 50 crore is my turnover. And if I cross any one of that, I'll go to medium. So in medium, up to 20 crore is my investment and 100 crore is my turnover. So if it is within both, then I am a medium. Else, I cross, I become a large enterprise. Now, please make one point clear, guys. Investment is 20 crore. Now, here they say the borrower is up to 25 crore. So, for example, if I have borrowed maybe 25 crore and my equity is 5 crore. So 25 plus 5, 30 crore is my investments. And if I have 30 crore is my investment, I may not be a medium enterprise. I may go to a large enterprise. That is why they made this point very clear. That please look at this. This is business including MSMEs. So if it is, for example, I borrowed only 10 crores and my investment is 7 crores. The equity is 7 crores and borrowing is 10 crores. So total 17 crores. 17 crores is below 20 crores. So I'm a medium enterprise. So I'm an MSME. Then turnover should not cross 100 crores because the moment I cross 100 crore, I become a large enterprise. So these are the two conditions and both are and conditions. Look at this, guys. The credit cap and turnover cap. Okay, both must be there. So anyone I cross, I am not eligible for. So this is number one, eligibility. Number two, conditions will prevail. What are those conditions which they will say? Number one, 29/2, you must have an outstanding. Number two, during this 3-month period, April, May, okay, now May is over. So March, 15 days, April and May, 2.5 months, you should have been affected by the COVID-19 impact. Because of that, my turnover is less or there is no turnover. And my profit loss account shows very minimal activity, scanty activity or nil activity. My GST returns are nil or very scanty turnover I have declared there. All this will prove that your entity, I repeat, your entity is affected by COVID-19. Now, why am I mentioning this as a fourth point? Okay. So, first two conditions I made it, credit cap, turnover cap. Second is with respect to your 29/2/2020, your bank limit. Number 4, you must prove that through documents that you are affected party because of COVID-19. Now, why I am making this point is, there are industries who have not been affected by COVID-19. I repeat, guys, there are industries who have not been affected by COVID-19. Who are they? Number one, pharma companies, Ayurvedic formulation companies, this homeopathy company. There's been a lot of good reports, news reports have been floating that homeopathy is actually a very good, alternative or a good treatment. So far, there is no scientifically proved one, but it seems to be homeopathy seems to be an acceptable and a very good treatment is possible. So there are some reports are there. So people have to still confirm it, maybe the science part of it. But these are all some beliefs based on which the respective industries, homeopathy industry, Ayurvedic and allopathy, they were able to make very good business. And especially out of all this lockdown, there is only one shop which was there 24/7. And that is the pharmacy shops. And for pharmacy shops, supply, that means pharmaceutical. So any industry which is associated with pharma, medicine, healthcare, they were not affected by COVID-19. This is one point we need to actually understand and be very clear. So such industries who are part of this cluster, so may not be out of 100, it may be only 4% or 5% of the total list. But these they cannot actually go and stand in the queue. Say, I also want a part of this 20% of my outstanding loan. My outstanding loan is 20 crores. So give me 20%, that is 4 crores without any collateral. See, the logic of giving collateral free is, so this is the time of a pandemic and they are already, and it is beyond their control. It is something which they don't come forward for asking for a credit, but it is the need of the hour, and government is coming forward as giving us a stimulus. See, as an Indian government, they are government is very much keen that this economic scenario has to be changed. That is why when our Pradhan Mantri made the address, he made this point very clear that there are 5 pillars of self-reliant India. If at all, India has to be what do you say in Tamil? We have to say Suya Sarbu India. Okay, so Aatmanirbhar means we have to be dependent on ourselves, our resources. So that's why the slogan was buy local and go global. For that, be local. So meaning, so you need to actually develop the local resources. So to develop the local resources, you need to actually strengthen our system, and especially MSMEs are. You will actually be surprised. This particular part, if you look at this, guys, please. This is MSME schemes. Please look at this paragraph, guys. Needless to mention that the contribution of MSME is 8% of GDP and 45% of manufacturing output and 40% of exports of our country are uniquely, they are the least investment driven with high returns. 45% of manufacturing output and 40% of exports of our country are MSME oriented. So that is the reason, guys, this stimulus package is focused to actually bring them up, Once the MSME they stand, the country will actually prosper. 40%, look at that number of the contribution which they make, and also with respect to the GDP. So that is the reason they made it very clear that the affected, I repeat, the affected, because of COVID-19 who are affected, we want to go collateral free. So rather than again going for the collateral process, it may not actually serve any purpose. Number 5, most important condition, guys, most important condition, this process of 29(2) and documentation. Number 3, there will be periodic review. I repeat, periodic review. It can be once in 3 months, once in 6 months. So you have actually borrowed. What is the activity you have been performing with this? So are you actually stimulating whether this stimulus package by giving this 20% outstanding credit, has it actually stimulated your business, energized your business as a catalyst, and your turnover and your activity as it gone up? That is the point, which the 5th point. That is the condition. So, and the first 12 months, there is no principal repayment. There is moratorium. So that means first 12 months only interest will be levied. Principal repayment will be done in the next 36 months. So along with the interest. So, and another point, the interest rate will be capped. Now this point, day before yesterday, so it was actually passed in cabinet. This emergency credit for MSME has been approved. So now once it is approved, the banks have to implement it. So the next is we'll get the schemes of the banks announced, and Reserve Bank of India will actually stimulate all the banks, the top directors, the executive directors, general managers, and the board. They have to come forward and announce the schemes, maybe sector specific. They will announce the scheme, and most important, guys, the interest rate under the scheme will be capped at 9.25% for banks and financial institutions, and for 14% for NBFCs. It may not be charged more than this. 9.25, 20% of outstanding loan as on 29(2). It is a substantial benefit. I will say a maximum benefit. And I'm sure with this, the entire economy can actually be churned, and it will actually, like a train starting with the slow process, and then it will gain the momentum and speed, and then it will go at 80 km, 100 km, 120 km per hour. It will start. So, and the most important, guys, the time limit given is only up to 31st October. Please read the second and the third paragraphs. Please look at this, guys. this guaranteed emergency credit line. The government has provided a corpus of 41,600 crore. It is 3 lakh crores only, but the first step, 41,600 crore has been already been allocated, which will be spread over 4 years, starting from the current fiscal. The scheme would be applicable to all loans sanctioned under the GECL facility during the period from the date of announcement of the scheme to 31st October or till an amount of 3 lakh crore is sanctioned under the GECL, whichever is earlier. So, most important part, guys, the loan will be provided for 4 years with moratorium of 1 year on the principal. That has been already mentioned. So, that is this first leg. The second leg, which is very important, guys, 20,000 crores has been approved with respect to subordinate debt for stressed MSME. Now, the first leg is only for business, including MSME. I said this is for standard asset. It is not for substandard asset. It is not for NPAs. But this 20,000 crores subordinate debt is for stressed MSME. I repeat, guys, stressed MSME. Now, what is stressed MSME? NPA. So, already the company is an NPA or they are stressed. That means they are in the SMA 123, the special mention account 123 category. They are already there. So, that means they are already in the process of becoming, okay, they have to actually either liquidate or they have to actually come to the verge of, okay, closure. Okay. But at that particular point also, they are functioning MSMEs. This is the point all of you must mention. All of you must note. They say, I am already in NPA. Like, guys, please understand, government are very clear, and even banks are also very clear, that the moment you are an NPA, they are only the mode on recovery mode. They are not on the mode of further giving loans. So, and remember, guys, an NPA company, in this particular point of time, that is in pandemic point of time, they will be much more stressed. They will be much more pressurized. And their burden will be too much, especially with respect to payment of interest. So, their interest burden, their business has to be revived. One very big advantage for this stressed companies, stressed assets, NPA companies is they have experience. I repeat, guys, they have experience. And experience is their Mooladhanam, experience is their equity, experience is their investment. And the moment you give them the booster, they give them the stimulus, they'll actually start running. So, how do you give that boost to them? How do you give? That's why subordinate debt. What is subordinate debt? In finance, guys, in finance, subordinate debt means it will get the last priority. For example, what do you mean by last priority? In case there is a bankruptcy or liquidation, after the secured creditors, after the secured debt, after the tax payments, then only the subordinate debt will come. That is why it's called subordinate debt. And remember, guys, this is a very interesting scheme. Now, what is the scheme? This is only applicable for limited companies, private limited companies. Why private limited companies? Because idea can change your life. What is that idea? Step one, promoters of MSME only will be given debt by banks. So the company is NPA company, promoters of the NPA, they will be given the subordinate debt. Now, who will be borrowing? NPA company will not borrow. Borrowing will be done by the respective directors. Provided these directors are not a default directors, they have been filing their returns on time, they have been paying their taxes on time, their credit rating is not worst. So they may actually have their own issues also. For example, up to their neck, they would have borrowed a housing loan, vehicle loan, maybe personal loan, everything they would have borrowed it. So now whether they will be eligible is the next question. That is why the scheme will come. The scheme will actually will say, even though you are NPA, NPA is only this company, not the promoters. But what is the very worst the thought of the so-called the entire system is very, I will say, very pathetic thought. What is the pathetic thought is the moment a company becomes NPA, the people who are associated with this NPA, they are also being treated as no, we can't give loan to you. your company, the company in which you have been a director, the company is actually a NPA, so we will not give loan to you. So this is the very pathetic attitude, very, very, I will say, the most unfortunate attitude. But the plus point of these promoters is they have experience. And if you give them the stimulus, I will say these promoters will be lifelong. They can't imagine of coming out of such a, we'll say, an NPA scenario. And today, Aatmanirbhar, self-reliant India, this scheme, Aatmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, is very clear that we will provide the loan to the promoters who are part of the NPA companies, and this loan they have to infuse into the NPA company as equity, and then revive this company, run this company, make it surplus plus, using that plus pay the loan of the existing NPA. So all NPAs will become performing asset, guys, performing asset. Very, very, I will say, most thought-provoking, dynamic, fascinating proposal. I will say fascinating proposal is this 20,000 crore subordinated first test MSMEs, and the conditions which will be stipulated for this is where the real game plan is. Associations like Madras Kirana Merchants Association and the Federation of Madras Manufacturers and Merchant Association, you must now give a proposal to the bankers stating that these kind of schemes we are ready actually, and we want to actually revive. These are all the companies which has to be revived, and we need a proposal which actually suits this, and especially limited companies. Now, many people, they will come forward and say, I am an individual, I am a partnership entity, I am already in NPA, am I eligible for subordinated? No, you are not eligible for subordinated. This is only for limited companies, private limited companies. And most important, guys, this money, government will provide a support of 44,000 crores to CGT MSC, that is the Credit Guarantee Trust, they will actually, and micro and small enterprises. So Credit Guarantee Trust of micro and small enterprises, 20% cover government will give, and the balance 80% cover will be given by the CGT MSC. So that is a very interesting point. Why? Because in the previous one, the entire 100% cover is given by the respective CGT MSC. Now here, 20% cover is given by central government. Balance 80%, it will only be, out of this 80%, 50% only CGT MSC will give. 60% it will give, 70% it will give, depending upon the sector. Sector specific stressed MSMEs or NPAs, the respective partial credit, that's why it's called partial credit guarantee support by banks. So that through CGT MSME. So that is also there. So therefore banks are safe. Okay, banks will say, okay, give me the document, give me this. Okay, all three things are there. Give the fund to, and remember, subordinated. That means no, I repeat, no collateral. No collateral. Here also no collateral. Instead of using the word no fresh collateral, they used a term called, very nice term they have used, subordinated debt. That is why I have given the definition of subordinated debt here, guys. Subordinated debt has a low priority than bonds of the issuer in case of liquidation, etc., etc. And senior debt holder. See, look at that. That is why I have given the triangle. Look at the triangle. Common equity, preferred, subordinated debt, and then senior loan. So very interesting. Subordinated debt is given to the directors. Directors will infuse it as equity. So that is the second leg, guys. And we have the last another 10 to 15 minutes, and I'll. This is the third scheme, third leg of that tripod. We can call it as tripod, and maybe this is the third leg to actually stimulate the MSMEs. 50,000 crores equity infusion. Again, the word equity. Look at the word. Again, the word equity. This is only for with growth potential and viability. MSMEs with growth potential. Now, there are companies who would have incorporated. And youngsters, they say, please come forward. So, they already made this point that there is a guy called, in Kottayam, there is a guy called Matthews. His name is called Matthews. He was awarded by Pradhan Mantri, he was awarded in 2016 for an innovation. What is the innovation he made that time? At that time, Startup India was very popular. And what is the innovation he made? He made a solar-powered mosquito repellent. Solar power, so no chemical. And all the good morning, good evening companies are all actually totally shattered. Oh my God, what will happen to our product? His product was actually displayed. It was actually a prototype model. 600 rupees is the cost of that prototype. But he was very confident that if that prototype is actually manufactured in bulk, cost will be only 60 rupees or 40 rupees. That too, you don't need electricity. You don't need chemical. It only goes by solar. So what is the kind of innovation it is? And the investors are very ready. In the moment Pradhan Mantri identified this gentleman and the award was given, everybody, all investors are very keen, okay, to invest money in this company. First, he doesn't have a company first. So at the age of 45, he became an innovator. And he belonged to Kottayam. Kottayam is a place where rubber estates are there. And he was actually affected by malaria and the mosquito bites. So the necessity is the mother of invention for him. So he invented it only because of that environment in which he was there. And today, guys, investors are there. This is the point which the government of India has identified. Micro, small and medium enterprises come with your ideas and potential ideas, virgin ideas, fertile ideas. So with that ideas, you have the growth potential and viability. And if viability is shown, definitely funding will be done, and funding will be done through venture capital. Further, there will be a mother fund. The mother fund is given 10,000 crore, and this 10,000 crore will be borrowed by another 4 times of debt, so 50,000 crore. This 50,000 crore will be shared to the daughter funds, and all these daughter funds are venture capital funds. Mother fund, daughter funds, and daughter funds will have, say, for example, 10,000 crores each. Each of this daughter fund will be focused towards one particular vertical of industry. For example, it can be construction, it can be pharma, it can be education. Today, education will be quite surprised because of the UGC within bracket online courses or programs, close bracket regulations 2018. Government of India on 1st of February they have announced 99,300 crores funding exclusively allocated for online courses. So the day is the future is for online course and online education. So therefore, any company which is coming forward, there will be equity infusion. They will grow, and equity infusion will be only 1:4. 1 will be equity, 4 will be debt, and debt has to be repaid within 3 years' time or 4 years' time. After that, the venture capitalist will exit, and maybe through the stimulus that has been given, the company can survive on its own, or even the investors or the promoters can also exit by selling the stakes to outsiders. All this is possible, and that is why they want the MSMEs to get listed on stock exchanges. So this is another forethought that in the next 2 to 3 years, stock market is going to actually flourish with these kinds of companies, and there will be very good market and also future for these kind of companies to actually vie for the main board of stock exchange. But my point is, at the beginning stage, they may not be given an entry in main board. They'll only be given in the, what do you call it, as MSME exchanges. So the MSME exchanges, they'll first be listed, and then they will be getting listed to the main board. So this is the third stimulus package. And I want to share with you one more thing, that this is a global tender will be discontinued, and tenders will be only given for the local MSMEs. That is another one. And most important, if they find it difficult for marketing, they will be given e-marketing platforms. That also will be the scheme for MSMEs. And I want to make one more point, guys. Please look at this point. The Udyog Aadhar Memorandum. Udyog Aadhar Memorandum, I want to make one point very clear, guys. On Man Ki Baat, Pradhan Mantri on 3/10/2014, he made it very clear that he will simplify the registration of MSMEs, and he introduced Udyogadar Memorandum on 18th of September 2015 under the recommendation of Kamath Committee on Financial Architecture. Now, this is the old SSA registered database. Please look at this. How many are micro, small and medium? 15.63 lakh old SSA registered. That was up to, that means before the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Act came into force. Now, look at this. Tamil Nadu is number 1 in it. Then is Gujarat, then is Uttar Pradesh, then Kerala. Maybe other states put together is 190. This is the order. Now, please look at udyogadar.gov.in. They now have what is the estimated number of enterprises in rural, urban. I'll just share with you one interesting number. Look at this number, guys. This is the state of estimated number of MSMEs. Now, Tamil Nadu is in 3rd rank. Look at this. 633.88 estimated number of MSMEs. And state of Uttar Pradesh has the largest estimate of MSMEs with a share of 14.2% of MSMEs in the country. West Bengal comes close and Tamil Nadu will be the 3rd. The top 10 states alone accounts for 74%. And the remaining estimated MSMEs are in the other states and union territories. So this much, almost we can say. So 633 lakhs means almost 6.33 crore of MSMEs, estimated number of MSMEs. And how many are actually registered? It says, please look at this. The analysis enterprise owned by, maybe I'll come to this, male and female. Please look at this. Out of 633.88 lakh MSMEs, 608.41, that is 98% of MSMEs are proprietary enterprises. That is it. Proprietary enterprises. Micro, small and medium enterprises. Okay. That is one. How many are micro? Please look at the micros are maximum. Okay. Out of 633, 608.41 lakhs are proprietary. There has been an overwhelming predominance of male owners. Please look at this. Especially in proprietary MSMEs. How much? 79.63% of enterprises are male-owned enterprise and only 20% of the proprietary enterprises are female-owned. So this is another important statistics which speaks about the proportion of men and women who own MSMEs. So this is the other proportion of, look at the share of rural and urban. In rural also 51, urban also 49, almost 50-50 you have. But look at out of 633.88 lakh, 630 lakhs are micro. Small is 3.31, medium is 0.05. This is based on the existing criteria. And when the new criteria will come, micro will be more, small and medium will be less. People are not investing funds. They want to only borrow money, not invest in capital. So these are all some of the statistics that will actually give you. This is a Udyogadar format. And we have an MSME Samadhan scheme which is there as part of micro, small and medium enterprises. And you have MSME Sambandh benefits are there. And you have MSME Sampark benefits are also there. Now I'll just share with you only 1 minute. MSME Samadhan. Whenever there is a delayed payment is there. Delayed payment. That is why more than 45 days if MSME payments are being delayed, then the case, that particular recovery can be actually filed before this MSME Samadhan portal. Please look at this. So case filing for entrepreneur and MSME units, they can do it. So that is why if you have to get money from an MSME, if both are registered as MSME, we can go to Samadhan. Or if for you have to receive and you are an MSME registered and the customer to whom, the customer who has to pay you, he is not an MSME but he is a large enterprise, even then you can go for MSME Samadhan. If both are MSMEs and one of you are only registered, can you go for MSME Samadhan? Means no. So that is why it is always better to always register as an MSME, whether you are small or medium or large or whether micro, whatever it is. So the registration will actually give you that cutting edge. Similarly, a Sambandh connecting to the manufacturers, small and medium manufacturers to to the ultimate. This is a public procurement policy monitoring portal. That is why already central public enterprises, they made it very clear that 20% of their procurement they have to only do through the micro, small and medium enterprises. And look at this recent one, which the stimulus package. As part of the stimulus package, please look at this. Now, as part of stimulus package, Indian MSMEs and other companies are often face unfair competition from foreign companies. So now all global tenders will be disallowed, and who can participate in it? Only the Indian companies can participate. So necessary amendments to general financial rules will be affected, and MSMEs also can participate to increase their business. So that is that means all global tenders is now open for MSMEs also. So where capital criteria and all, you have to actually make a point, make a representation. If at all that is the general financial rules, there you have to make a point. So for MSMEs, you have to reserve 20%, 25%. Already central public sector enterprises and public sector enterprises, they are reserving 20% of public procurement only for MSMEs. The same it has to come here also. So these are the places where MSME associations like this, you have to pay your attention very much. So I'm sure I have covered a good amount of inputs. I will now be happy to actually share my thoughts. Maybe Vinod Nair will join us any time. Until such time, maybe I will take some few questions. Okay, thank you, Radhakrishnan ji. Any questions are there? My client business entity not registered under MSME, can he entitle for loan? It is technically difficult. You mean to say you have not availed your loan earlier. I have mentioned about 3 stimulus packages. The first stimulus package, you should have been an MSME. Second, you should have been a borrower. So neither you are an MSME nor you have been a borrower. So therefore, Shilikeri BG your client business entity may not be eligible for entitlement of loan, but nevertheless, I have given you the link. I have given you the link of the MSME. The generic schemes that is available. Please download the document, 266-page document. Register, get the Udyogadar memorandum, UAM number, and most important, under that you are eligible you will be eligible for many schemes, either as an individual or as a partnership firm, even if you are not a private limited company. B.S. Nagaraj, what to do when bank is using rating mechanism to increase interest rates to 15.5% for term loan of 3.5 crores. Concession request letter given, but no action yet taken. The Nagaraj, Nagarkoil. Actually, it is a very good point what you have raised. Now, this is a very, very unfortunate event of a COVID pandemic event. You have to make a mention here. What is it? Due to the pandemic event, my business is disrupted. And in this scenario, if you are increasing the interest rate, already my business is not doing well. Because the business is not doing well, I am not able to repay. And because of that, my credit rating is affected. And because of that, you are doing 15.5. These are all actually snowballing effect. So please make this representation properly and ensure that this particular interest rate is actually reversed and you are being given a special status. I repeat, you are given a special status until you revive and bring your company back to track. And please, not only concession request alone should not be given. You must give a letter. You must say why you are affected. Number 1. Number 2, how you are going to revive it. Number 3, how you are going to come back to the track. These 3 only is most important. Nagaraj, எனக்கு வந்து முடியல, நான் வந்து இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் பே பண்ண முடியாது, அதனால கன்செஷன் கொடுங்க அப்படின்னு கேட்டா அது பேங்க் சைட்ல எப்படி எடுத்துப்பாங்க? பேங்க் சைடு எடுத்துக்க மாட்டாங்க. So therefore, find reasons and list out those reasons and do. So next question, Selva Kumar. In 20,000 crore scheme, that is Selva Kumar, உங்களுடைய picture நன்னா இருக்கு. Okay, DP நன்னா இருக்கு. Okay. In 20,000 crore schemes, directors and promoters changing time to time in company as per shares. Who is liable to repay the loan by replacement director? Loan taking director or company? The company is not taking loan. Only director is taking loan. Director is taking loan for stimulating the company. So therefore, director only is responsible. Selva Kumar. Then any next question? Will this session be available after live end? Yes. RJ videos session will be available after this live end. It will be available also. Can traders be part of MSME? Yes. Traders be part of MSME. You are buying and selling. For you, commodity, buying and selling. You are a micro, small and medium enterprises only. Please, I am sure you would have registered it. If you have not registered, kindly register again and get the UAM. Then can we have recorded version? It is already there. Any other question? Nagara, second question. Our business is food. Our term loan is 3.5 crore. Okay. Good. So any other question, guys? Is it applicable for lab? Okay. Loan against the property. So this is a term loan actually. Loan against property, maybe term loan or okay. You are again either using it for OD or CC or business purpose. Now the point here is, are you a business entity? Number one, whether this loan is there as part of your business. That is the question. So if you are focusing on your 3 lakh crore emergency credit, okay, emergency credit scheme, this LAP, is it taken in individual name or is it taken in business name? So if you are taken in individual name and you are rooted it, you may not be eligible. If you have taken it in the company name, business name, you will actually be eligible. Okay. So very interesting. That is why personal loans, business loans, there is a distinction. If you have taken it as a personal loan and rooted it through business, I doubt whether you will be eligible for this emergency credit. Sir, any other question? Maybe I will hand over to Sir Vinodji. I will hand it over to you.
Yes, sir. I am online. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It was really a wonderful session, and I'm sure it will all helped our members, and members got a lot of information about MSME and Aatmanirbhar Abhiyan. Sir, thank you so much for supporting us in this time. This is a real help. In the technology has helped so much. In fact, they come for a meeting. From my house it started. I've reached government office. Thank you all so much. I'm sure, sir, Raju, sir, I'll keep in touch with you. Dr. Raju, thank you so much for conducting this session. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot, members, for attending.
Thank you very much, Vinod. Thank you very much.
Thank you.